For most animals, becoming famous requires doing something extraordinary. Maybe climbing a skyscraper, escaping from a zoo, or correctly predicting the winner of a major sporting event. Jimothy the Raccoon didn't need to do any of that. He simply walked across a patch of grass, and within days, he had millions of views. His own mural, merchandise, a video game, a bobblehead, and an entire city celebrating what people were calling Jimothy Summer. But Jimothy's strange appearance also raised an important question. What exactly were people looking at? The story began on the evening of July 13th, 2026, in Seattle's Ballard neighborhood. Kiana Hall was walking with her husband near the Ballard Goodwill when she noticed something moving underneath a parked car. At first, she thought it was a cat. Then the animal stepped into view. It had the face and markings of a raccoon, but its body looked remarkably short, round, and compressed. Its front and back legs appeared much closer together than they would on a typical raccoon. Hall pulled out her phone and recorded a video lasting only about 5 seconds. In the clip, she can be heard asking a question that millions of people would soon be asking themselves. What am I looking at? She posted the video online and gave the animal a name that apparently just seemed to fit. Jimothy. Not Jim, not Timothy, Jimothy. And somehow, looking at him, it's difficult to argue with that decision. The video exploded across social media. Within days, it had accumulated millions of views as people tried to determine whether Jimothy was a raccoon, a very strange cat, a furry bowling ball, or some previously undiscovered creature wandering the streets of Seattle. Some compared him to Bigfoot or the Chupacabra. Others began calling him Saint Jimothy, King Jimothy, or Seattle's newest hometown hero. But veterinarians offered a more scientific explanation. Experts who reviewed the footage said Jimothy may have been born with a rare congenital spinal deformity resembling short spine syndrome. In animals with this condition, some of the vertebrae can become compressed or fused together. This shortens the back and may bring the shoulders and hips unusually close together, producing the compact shape seen in Jimothy. However, there's an important qualification. Jimothy hasn't been captured and medically examined. A veterinarian can't officially diagnose a wild animal from a few cell phone videos. So, although short spine syndrome is the leading explanation, it remains an informed theory rather than a confirmed diagnosis. The condition could potentially reduce Jimothy's flexibility or make certain movements more difficult. Some experts have raised concerns that an unusually shaped raccoon could have more trouble escaping cars, dogs, or other dangers. But the videos also show something encouraging. Jimothy can run. He can climb stairs, cross fences, and move around the neighborhood without appearing helpless. One Washington State University veterinary expert said the fact that he had survived in the wild showed that he was managing and adapting. In other words, Jimothy may look different, but he doesn't appear to realize that he's supposed to be an underdog, or an under-raccoon. Additional videos soon appeared from residents who believed they had seen Jimothy before he became famous. One Ballard resident posted footage said to show a much younger Jimothy walking along a fence with other raccoons. According to that account, he had been born near a group of cedar trees and was regularly seen with his mother and siblings. The family reportedly stayed close to him as he learned to move through his surroundings. Those details can't all be independently confirmed, but they helped change the public's impression of Jimothy. Instead of seeing him as a sick animal wandering alone, people began viewing him as a surprisingly capable wild raccoon who had apparently been surviving alongside his family for months. Then the story became bigger than the raccoon himself. An artist painted a Jimothy mural outside a pottery studio in Ballard. The Seattle Mariners featured him during a game. Fans produced drawings, stickers, shirts, tattoos, and even an 8-bit video game. An acrylic Jimothy painting was auctioned to raise money for the Ballard Food Bank. The artwork brought in roughly $6,500, and several major companies reportedly offered matching donations. The National Bobblehead Hall of Fame also announced a limited edition Jimothy bobblehead. That might be the first time anyone has looked at a raccoon with a compressed spine and thought, you know what this animal needs? A larger head that moves around. Seattle City Council member Alexis Mercedes Rink even announced plans for an official proclamation celebrating the summer of 2026 as Jimothy Summer. A raccoon had gone from walking beneath parked cars to receiving civic recognition in little more than a week. But Jimothy's fame comes with a serious warning. He's still a wild raccoon. Wildlife experts don't recommend searching for him, approaching him, trying to capture him, or leaving food outside for him. Feeding raccoons can cause them to lose their natural fear of people, attract more animals into residential areas, and create dangerous situations for both humans and wildlife. The fact that Jimothy looks unusual doesn't automatically mean he needs to be rescued. Unless he appears injured or unable to function, experts say the best thing people can do is admire him from a distance and allow him to continue living naturally. So why did this particular raccoon become so popular? Part of it is obviously his appearance. Jimothy looks like someone took an ordinary raccoon and accidentally selected the wrong dimensions before printing him. But there's probably something more to it. The internet often rewards outrage, fear, and conflict. Jimothy offered something harmless. He was strange, funny, and unexpectedly resilient. People could look at him, smile, and briefly agree on something. This little raccoon is doing his best. Jimothy didn't become famous because he performed a trick or because someone trained him to entertain people. He became famous simply by appearing exactly as he is: short, round, mysterious, and apparently determined to keep moving. And perhaps that's the real reason millions of people connected with him. Jimothy looks different. Life may be harder for him, but somewhere in Seattle, he's still climbing fences, exploring backyards, and living the life of a wild raccoon, completely unaware that the internet has declared him a king.